Davi here from at figure.8.energy and at We Light Beans. And I'm wearing my ears today. Today is November 1st, and I put together a little Light Beans night out, and so it was a dress-up occasion where the little Light Beings could come out and dress up, and we had vegan foods, potluck style, like little treats to share, and we also had a Sondheim gathering as well, and the parents dropped their children off at the Light Bean gathering, and so it was really magical. It was really cute. I feel so in my element when I'm around children. I mean, I'm in my element around a lot of just different things, but it's always really fun to tap into that energy. I'm a Gemini, so the childlike nature comes out, and when I'm like doing little songs, singing with my fingers, and the children just love it, and I love it too. So it's just like, it's great. And when we were on our way, right, I'm preparing, and Rian's asleep. He's taking his nap, and then he wakes up and tries to go back to sleep, and I've got to get him up. We have to go. We're only like a few minutes away from the playground, but we still have to go. And he's one of those risers where, like, if it's overnight and he wakes up and the sun is out, he's like, it's sunny out. Like, all of this energy. But if it's from a nap, he gets a little groggy and he just like wants to casually wake up, and typically that is great. I love that. However, today we had to go. So I'm doing my best to like really get him excited to get his ears on. These ones are actually his. I have the longer mama ears, but I prefer these ones because the other ones are just like and just a little uncomfortable, but I wear them whenever Rian's wearing these. Anyways, so I get him in the car, and I'm just like making sure I get everything that I need, and I get to the playground. And let me back up before I tell you what happened at the playground. Today's November 1st, right? So Halloween is November 31st, and there's different ceremonies and ways to pay respects to your ancestors, and Halloween's like a different thing on its own. And so a lot of people come to me and they're like, what did you do for Halloween? Or they're feeling uncertain about what to do for Halloween when we were leading up to it. And there's this pressure in the nowness that we're experiencing, where people are becoming conscious of a lot of stigmas that are behind holidays, and some people are even calling them fake holidays, and wanting to be really opinionated about it. And they also they want to rebel against what has been because they see things that they don't like, and at the same time they want to do what's right, or they don't want their children to miss out on certain things. And so it's that balance of trying to figure out like what to do. And so people would ask me like, what are you going to do? And I was thinking about it. It's like, okay, well, I used to love Halloween. Like, I was so for it. I've thrown like pretty epic Halloween parties, like created a haunted house with strobe lights, a little couch area where I'm streaming, not streaming because I don't think we could stream back then. I was casting from a VHS through a projector, Nosferatu, and I had like a spooky little like food area. Like, yeah, the strobe light section was like the dance floor. So like I used to go all out on this stuff, and I love festivities. I love throwing events. I always have loved throwing events. And so when I started shifting in my awareness and realized how different things were affecting me, and then of course having children, not wanting certain things to affect them, it's like, oh, well, then we're missing out on a lot of the good aspects, like having reasons to celebrate and joining in on group festivities and such. And so yesterday, what I did is I attached the trailer to my bike and I rode both of the boys around the neighborhood so they can look at all the children that are dressed up and look at the decorations and such, so they're still experiencing that part of it and like the fun aspect. And my other thing with Halloween is like, I don't eat candy. I mean, like, if I eat candy, I'm eating like organic cacao, you know. I can't even think of anything else that would be candy. But my children, he doesn't know what that stuff is. Like, maybe he's seen it on like a TV show or something. Why am I saying TV? They don't have a TV. On some type of like video, or been around other children, but he has no idea what that is. And I don't like artificial colors, flavors, simple sugars, like any of that stuff. So obviously I'm not going to take him door to door and have him have all of this stuff. And so that's what also I was thinking when people were asking me leading up, like, what am I going to do? It's like, you know what? I want my children to be able to dress up. I love dressing up. That's a fun thing to do. I don't want them to have to miss out on that. And I like being able to share treats, and I want the treats to be safe. And I feel like I'm also not the only parent, guardian that wants their children to experience certain holidays in a way where they're not celebrated the exact same way that doesn't align with their values. So there has to be some sort of natural way to go about this. And so you're like, you know what? I'm just going to throw something. I'm going to put something out there. It's going to be a free event where I'm going to call it the Little Light Beans Night Out. It's going to be a day after Halloween so that there's another opportunity for the children to dress up. If they do go participate in other stuff, that's great. But we're going to have all vegan foods and treats, and guess what? You can make them stuff. We're trusting you, okay? We're bringing trust back into the holidays, and we're making treats and we're giving them to our children because we trust each other as a community, and we want to give our children good things and not just buy them other stuff from the store. And everybody has their own thing on it, but I wanted to create an event that I would love to be able to go to. So I did. And so that was my first point I want to make is, when you find yourself trying to figure out what to do about the holidays because you still want to celebrate the holidays, but you don't agree with maybe the consumerism that's around it, or certain elements that you find dark or insidious, or have underlying elements that you just don't care for, like, do what you want to do. Don't do what you feel is best or what you feel like you're not going to be judged for by the other people that are in your surroundings or in the environments that you want to put yourself in. It's like, it's your life. It's your children's life. I have had to grapple with all of this too. Even before I had children, trying to decide, like, do I celebrate things? Do I not? And so there have been years where I didn't celebrate things, or I was around people who, well, not like I was around people, I was like with people who didn't celebrate things. So then it was like kind of weird. It's just like, well, if they don't celebrate, I guess I don't celebrate. And it's just like, come on. You're an individual. Like, how can you work together to compromise? Or just, like, just do you. Just do you. Do what makes you happy. As long as you're not hurting anybody. Who cares? Who cares what other people think? Anyways, back to my other story about today. We get to the playground, and Ryan goes off, runs, and plays with his friends, and other people still haven't shown up at this point. It was just like one of his friends was there, and then it's at a public playground, right? So there's other moms there and their children. And I show up and I'm setting up, and as soon as I get there, I get these like strange looks. And as per usual, I log the interactions that I get. It's not really an interaction. The reactions that I get. I guess I'm just like used to it at this point. Like, sometimes I dress outrageous. Like, I know I'm very different and I'm okay with it. I just try to like navigate the environment. And so I register that they're looking at me a little strange, and I'm just like, I don't know them. I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing because I just got here. I'm not doing anything weird. So I go and I'm like setting up everything, and then I go back to my car, and I happen to look down, and I'm like, oh, I'm wearing 2 different shoes. Okay. And like, let me reenact how it actually happened. I look down, I'm like, oh, I'm wearing 2 different shoes. And then the 3.5-year-old looks at me and he's like, yeah. I'm just like, you knew this? It's like, uh-huh. Like, and you didn't tell me? It's like, no. And he scurries off and goes and plays. I'm just like, no wonder people were looking at me strange, because they were obviously different shoes. And I'm tracing back in my mind, I'm like, I'm very particular about my appearance. How did this happen? This doesn't happen to me. And it must have been because in my mind I was like, okay, get Brianna in the car and make sure you have everything that you need, because you don't want to have to come back and get anything. And I had 2 pairs of shoes right by the door, and I slipped them both on. But they're very different. They're very different. Oh, I just thought it was so funny. But I like to be prepared, and I have extra shoes in my car. So I slipped on another pair of shoes, which actually looked way better with my outfit anyways. So it worked out well. So all of that story time to bring about the message of choosing how you want to celebrate the festivities or not celebrate the festivities. But we're in the month of November, and I was talking to another mother, and she's going on this 30 days of gratitude. So every day you come up with a reason to be grateful, and it's a different reason than before. And then you write it down in a journal, or you share it via social media. You just do something with it. Of course, feel it, but lock it down somewhere so that you can keep a register of what you're grateful for, and then look back on it. And also reference, like, I've already said that I was grateful for this, and inspire other people to have this as well. And I was like, wow, this is a beautiful idea. Absolutely, I will do that too. Today, November 1st, I am grateful for conscious communal connection. I love this. And so that is a new tradition, right? Well, it doesn't have to be a tradition, but it's a new way to celebrate Thanksgiving because I know there's a lot of energy around Thanksgiving. Maybe there's not a close tie to family because there's still some healing that needs to be done, or maybe there is not family there. Maybe you do have family and it's just really tense. Or maybe your dietary standards drive a wedge between you and your family. I don't know why it's that way, why people are so particular. Actually, I do know why. I feel like it has a lot to do with tradition and breaking tradition and not really understanding that somebody's preferences have nothing to do with the actual individual, and that hopefully there's no judgment on the other people for consuming the way they consume, because that's just like where they're at, you know. But I've met in the vegan community, there's a lot of people who are either uncomfortable around it or they feel like they're being attacked for it just by like having people make jokes at them. And I know personally when I go somewhere, it's like if somebody's gonna be consuming it, like that's on them, you know, that's their karma, that's their flow, those are their choices. My body, my choice, right? My dharma, my karma, my awareness is a certain way, so I'm not going to partake in it. However, I do not want to be in an environment where people are going to be nitpicking me for my choices, because I'm not going to start nitpicking them for their choices, right? Let's just all be. Um, and So I would host Friendsgivings, and those were always really beautiful because people would have a place to go, or they'll, you know, still go to their family ones, but then they'll also come to this because it's a different family, you know, it's like soul family. It's you can have multiple families. We're all family. We're all family. Anyways, let me reel myself back. I have a challenge for you. My friend's challenge is to go every single day and express gratitude for something. My challenge for you is to go every day for a week and express gratitude for being you, for giving yourself grace. And there's so many ways to do that. One way is when there's a situation like the situation that happened to me today, where I did something that is silly, right? So silly. I could have reacted differently in the moment, right? I could have been upset, embarrassed, frustrated. Could I could have told the story in a way where it would have brought the vibe down, right? where I could have been upset about it. It's like, oh my goodness, I did something so stupid today. I walked out of the house with two different shoes on, and I had people look at me like I was crazy, and I was, and it was because it was a little challenging to leave the house. Like, I could have done that, and that energy just, whew, one, it brings the environment, like everybody in the environment, down. And also, it's bringing yourself down because you're thinking about it in a negative light. Now you're expressing it in a negative light. So it's like you're feeling it, you're putting it out there. And like, it does not have to be that dense because it was not that big of a deal. Like, I didn't even have to tell you the story, but it's kind of funny. So I wanted to share the story. And that's one way that you can be grateful for being you, for being human, for acknowledging that like you're not perfect and it's okay. Like, give yourself grace. Nobody got hurt. And if somebody did get hurt from that situation or whatever situation, like, we can reflect on that. But still, beating yourself up isn't going to do anything about it. Another way that you can show yourself gratitude is to do something else that I did today. So I had plans this rising. And so both of the boys were being taken care of, and those are rare opportunities for me, for both of the boys to just like not be in my vicinity. And how do I even, there's a lot to unpack with that, but I'm not going to. What I'm going to say is the plans got shifted around, but everything is always divine. So I'm just like, okay, how can I maximize my time? Because I still have like all of this energy that I'm not giving out, right? I can just bring it to myself. So like, what do I want to do? And I went to the park, and my body was just feeling kind of like discombobulated, right? And what I wanted to do is like, I wanted to do yoga, and I was surveying my body, and it's like, I do not have the energy to do yoga. Like, I just don't feel like I can do it right now. But I have been feeling the call to just continue grounding myself. I need more grounding. And so I just went to the very center of the field. The field is circular, and anybody who's been around me long enough knows that I just have this compulsion to go right into the center of a circle. And now, like, reflecting myself, I think it's because like that's a very strong point, like 0 point gravity, and then just like symmetry and force fields and being the center, and just all of this stuff. And so I go into the center, and I have a circular blanket as well. So I lay the circular blanket down, and I just lay there, and I'm grounding myself. And I imagine my body having roots coming out of it and just like going into the earth and just like going really, really far, and then connecting with the mycelium network, and then connecting with all of the roots from the trees, because there's a bunch of trees around this circle as well. So if you can imagine the energy of this place, like, incredible. And there's water over there too. So like, I'm feeling all of these roots connecting to my roots to them, and just like my body feels so grounded. Like, it just, I feel all of the weight just like sunken into the earth. And then I allowed those roots to like go into a major energy ball, and then connect to the core of the earth. And then I'm allowing, when my body's connecting with the roots, I'm allowing densities to just like go into the earth. And then I'm pulling up the earth energy through that cord and through my root chakra, and like pulling it into the front, and then just like running it down my legs and back into the earth again. And so after I do that for, I have no idea how long, I get up and it's like, okay, like I feel more grounded, I feel settled, but my body just like isn't absolutely great yet. So then, because I grounded myself, I felt like more okay in my body. And so I did some slow yoga flows to what felt good for me. And then I did some energy work on myself to like really work on these areas. And I felt so great afterwards. And that's another way to show yourself gratitude, like being grateful for yourself for showing up every single day and doing all these things, and showing yourself gratitude by pulling your energy back and doing something that puts you back into your body, makes it just about you, you know. Energy work, that's just making sure that my body feels good. Yoga, making my body feel good. Into the earth, my body feel good, and being connected to the earth. So it's also showing gratitude to the earth, because whenever you are doing energy work and then you're making sure you're intentionally connecting, it's like, okay, well, part of us came from Pachamama, so like, thank you for that. And also the energy that you're putting back into the earth can use and recycle and all of this. And so there's extra gratitude there. And so what else can you do? Aesthetically, you can refresh your vibe. I was gifted today some like pretty awesome clothes, and I don't buy clothes too often, but people every now and then they'll give me things, and it's always the most divine time, because a couple of days ago I was thinking to myself, and I was receiving some downloads that it was time for a refresh. Just like, okay. And even this rising, I was looking in my closet, I'm just like, because of what I told you about me, like I feel like I'm week after week, it's like this new sense of being, like it's me, but then there's this new layer. And so I am a rising Leo, so that's part of why like my aesthetic is really important to me, and I express myself and like how I feel through my clothes. And so anytime you see me wearing something, it's telling you something about like how I'm feeling. And sometimes I'll change clothes like 3 times a day, but that's another topic. And so I'm looking through my clothes, and I'm just like, not really feeling all of this. This feels like a little bit like how I'm feeling, but whatever. So anyways, the divine worked through her, and she happened to be going through and clearing some things out, and she gifts me some clothes, and I'm just like, wow. One, thank you, divine, and like the powers of manifestation are also incredible. And thank you, friend, for being like that conduit and being open to like, it's just I'm I'm constantly in awe of the divine. But like I said, that's one way. You could also show yourself gratitude is to reflect, like, if you're a rising Leo, this might be a little more important. Or if you are a Leo or a Taurus or someone who cares about your aesthetic, it's like, or a Libra or Sagittarius. I feel like there's so many that I really do. But how does your clothes make you feel? Do you feel good in them? Because clothing does have a frequency as well, vibrational, specifically certain fabrics like linens and cottons, and like natural fabrics have a higher frequency. Some fabrics, actually like polyester, make your frequency go down. It's like crazy. And like there's a bunch of clothes that are just plastic too, which like there's so many things I could talk about. So that is one way you can show yourself gratitude. Well, I guess that's another thing we talk about, right? So what you wear, if you're wearing a bunch of plastic, your skin is your largest organ, and it's like absorbing everything. And you might think, well, it's like, no, my fabric's still here. It's like, yeah, but like you know, when you put your clothes in the washing machine and dryer and like it gets thinner and thinner and thinner, it's because like pieces are coming off and breaking off, and like on your body, like that is also happening too. Like you have the friction from wearing it, and it's slowly absorbing into your skin. We have so much plastic in our environment. It's possible to get away from all of it. It's just like minimizing. But if you wear some polyester every now and then, it's not gonna like kill you, because our bodies are incredible. It's just that's something else to pay attention to. It's like, on what levels of your life do you want to show yourself gratitude? And for me, I take like honor my vessel just at the top notch. Another way to show yourself gratitude is to, as I've touched on in a lot of videos, to be mindful of the energies in your surroundings, right? If you're in an environment that you're not 100% comfortable with, just like express gratitude for your being and just be like, you know what? I want to make you feel really good, and this environment doesn't make me feel good, or like this person isn't making me feel good right now. So I'm just like maybe gonna respond to that message tomorrow or in a week. Um, and just to let you know, if I don't respond to you for a week, it's not always because I don't want to like deal with your energy. Sometimes I'm just like really busy. Like I do a lot in a day. So, but sometimes it might be because I just don't have the energy budget for it right now. Because it could also be like, you know, the load that you have on. Like maybe show yourself some gratitude by taking a day off or a moment off. I guess all of this stuff is like self-care too. Aside from showing yourself, guys, no. This is about you. We're gonna leave it at that for now. Yes, I'm telling you to be selfish for a moment because of that whole. If you take care of yourself, the energy that ripples out around you is so much greater because you show up so much better for the people around you when you're feeling good. Yeah, because instead of spewing out that like negative energy from like how you're formulating and talking about the experiences that you have, you're putting out good energy. And that's really powerful. And it's really important. Yeah. So often, this is another story from today. So often, we put other people in front of ourselves, especially if we have children, right? My friend, this is end of the night. It's probably like 9:30 at night at this point, and she's just like, "Oh, I gotta take care of this finger. It's stinging." She's like, "It's been cut all day," and we're just like, "Wow, like yeah, that is such mom life." Like the body is reminding you again, like, "Hey, is it time yet? You can take care of me yet?" And then it's just like, well, it's just like a tiny thing. I'll take care of it later. But if it was your child, you take care of it right away, right? So like take care of yourself like you would take care of your child. Take care of your needs right away. Like you are a priority. You are. Absolutely. Well, speaking of priority, I feel my throat chakra being all go to sleep. Go to sleep. It's probably late and you deserve it. So I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in and listening to me talk. So if you want to see more of these things, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. I really like it when you guys interact with me, and I want more people to experience these videos, you know? So the more interactions, you know how the whole algorithm stuff works, the more interactions that there are, it shows that people are interested in it, and they might start showing it to other people that would be interested in it too. So, have a beautiful, beautiful day, lovelies, and thank you always.